Imagine you get $1 million if you become a distinguished Toastmaster. What? Wait a minute, you may think to yourself. What is a distinguished Toastmaster? I'm not even a Toastmaster yet. You're going to ask me to become a distinguished Toastmaster? Well, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests, distinguished Toastmaster is the highest honor given to a Toastmaster member. In order to become a Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster, you need to have completed over 40 speech projects, taking a club officer leadership role, as well as help out other clubs within your area. Now, I know many of you are aware that Toastmasters help your public speaking skills. But there's the other side, the leadership track, that many of you may not be as aware of. That's why I'm going to share with you some of my leadership experience and some of the roles you can take in Toastmasters. First of all, starting at the club level, there are 6 or 7 functionaries. We have R counter, grammarian, speech evaluators, Toastmaster, general evaluator, and timer. That's like an army right there. Why do those roles matter? Why should you care, right? Well, the R counter and the grammarian trains your listening skills. When you are the R counter, you're listening for something very specific. You're listening for filler words like so, I know, and all those other filler words out there. To help you become a more confident speaker, you want to minimize those, because if you have too many of those, then you appear less confident. People are not as attracted to listen to your speech. Grammarian has a tough role, believe it or not. Some people think grammarian is simple, but there are so many rules in grammar, like the double negatives, the parallelism, the plural tense. There's all kinds of stuff out there that you can listen for. So that's a huge challenge. By listening for those things, you can improve your public speaking skills. In addition, think about speech evaluator. Speech evaluator for me was one of the hardest jobs ever. When I first started joining Toastmasters in Norwalk back in July of last year, I had to evaluate the most experienced speakers in the club. Oh my God! It was terrifying, because all I could say after the speech is, great job with gestures, great job with vocal variety, great job with your speech. I didn't know how to evaluate, I didn't know what to look for until much later. But imagine in real life, in the real world, if your spouse, your coworker asks you, what do you think about my speech? Or what do you think about my presentation? You can't just go out there and say, great job, great job. That won't cut it. So Toastmasters can help you train your evaluation skills. Another one of the more interesting roles is Toastmaster. Yes, Toastmaster requires a lot of preparation, but Toastmaster is also a great learning opportunity, because by becoming the Toastmaster, standing up here, being the host of the meeting, you have a lot of opportunities to practice your public speaking skills. The way I help my members within my West San Gabriel Club is we have a lot of second language speakers. So one thing I do to facilitate, to encourage them to be Toastmaster, is to give them a script. That way they can be more confident speaking up in front of public. And then once they've done it 3 to 4 times, they don't need the script anymore. It's easy. Besides that, there are plenty of officer roles. Oh my goodness, think about the 7 officer roles in Toastmasters. You have Sergeant at Arms, you have the Treasurer, Secretary, Vice President of Education, Vice President of Membership, Vice President of Marketing, as well as the President himself. There's a lot of learning opportunities, and each of those officer roles is designed to train certain specific leadership skills. For example, you may not think much of a Sergeant at Arms, but Sergeant at Arms is the one that sets up the room. Sergeant at Arms is the one that keeps the meeting in order. He calls the meeting to order every meeting. isn't that important in real life to get everything organized, make sure everybody stays on the right track? Vice President of Education is also a critical role because that's how you help other people grow. The way I judge a club success is not just how much I gain, it's how much other members gain. It's something to think about in real life when you're the leader. You want other people to grow so that you can dedicate tasks to them. President, finally, is the most important person because he's not the one that's doing everything, but he's the one that has to delegate. You have to trust other people. You have to tell them, Ricky, I trust you. You can help me with this. Randall, I trust you. You can help me with this. Susan, I trust you. You can help me with this. That's what it takes. And besides the officer roles, and let me point out another interesting role, the area governor. That's right. Wow. Look at all the leadership opportunities, right? You want to be a great leader, then step up, be area governor. What does an area governor do? Well, area governor, what he or she does, you may know Jill here is the area governor. She goes and visits all her clubs within the area. Once she's done, she has to prepare a report based on something called the moment of truth. Basically, a short version of that means you want to make sure the club is treating the members well. You want to make sure the club is, all the members are growing. They're not just stuck in one place. With all that in mind, you may still question me. William, becoming a distinguished Toastmaster is not going to give me $1 million. Well, let me tell you this. You won't get $1 million check, but you get your $1 million by earning promotions and increasing your sales outside of Toastmasters.